Hello everybody, Cedric Kennedy here for CR Wrestling Commentary, and I'll be reviewing MLW, which is Major League Wrestling's War Chamber 2021. That's what I'm going to be reviewing today, and I had to take a few notes, but not many, because I had a feeling this wasn't going to live up to where it got its whole thing from, which is War Games. And there are things I'm going to point out, but I'm going to run through this, all right? So for those that are not familiar with WCW, now co-opted by WWE, War Games, which is now MLW War Chamber, this is two teams, 5 against 5. That's what this is. And so in this one is Hammerheads, I think that's what they were called, against Contra Unit. So here are the rules of the match. It's a coin toss which determines which team gains the first advantage. That means it's going to be 2-on-1 and whatnot. The match will be 1 versus 1 for 5 minutes. Afterwards, the coin toss winning team enters with a 2 versus 1 advantage. Every 2 minutes, a new participant will enter. I was used to the old school of 5 minutes. I put that at first. When all 10 wrestlers have entered the cage, the War Chamber match begins. That means the door is locked. No one enters, no one leaves, and whatnot. And it's supposed to be like ominous. And yeah, the first team to score a win via surrender, pinfall, or submission will win the War Chamber match. So Contra Unit wins the coin toss. We never saw the coin toss. Normally you focus on that. They didn't. I was looking. I rewound it. I'm like, there's no coin toss. Whenever it happened, it just happened. So, okay. Jacob Fatu is first. Now, Alexander Hammerstone, who's going to come out for his team first? It's a mystery dude. Okay. And he takes off the garb, and it's Jeff Cobb. Okay. Jacob Fatu was stunned. You can see it on his face. He did a good job with that. Jeff Cobb, that's a big boy. That's a big boy. You know, he got the guns. He got the all trapezes and stuff. He got the quads and the biceps. So, all right. So they got in. I'm not gonna go through this whole War Chamber thing because it was a flustercluck. Okay. So when they got in, it was a fast-paced opening show of great strength and pride. They just bowing up at each other, shoulder blocking each other, you know, like, hey, who's strong and whatnot. Cobb going he's getting to the later parts of what it would be in a match, and you're going to find out why, because there's no room to do much of anything else. But, you know, he picked up Jacob Fatu and carried him across the ring a couple of times, you know, showing his great endurance and stuff that he's gained. And so I'm not used to these new people. So this person comes out, and he's part of what's called the Sentai Death Squad. And it seems to be a group inside of Contra Unit's group or whatnot. I don't follow MLW like that, so I don't know what's up with this group. But Sentai Death Squad member number 1, he comes in. He's a basic tall guy. He's wearing a mask. And he does basic moves. You know, he's doing basic moves that they look all right, but you can tell that he's not he don't seem experienced in the ring. Not really. He seemed like his timing was off. He didn't know when to do things or almost what to do. Next participant, Savio Vega. He comes in with a kendo stick, which he was laying in some really soft, weak strikes with it. Now, he was doing some cool, fanciful moves, but he wasn't doing too much. Then, Contra Unit. Their next person come out. Ikuro Kwan. Fast martial art type fighter. That's what I wrote. And he was doing it. Hey, pinpoint. His accuracy is crazy. All right. So, you know, Ikuro Kwan, cool. All right. Then the next person to come out for Hammerstone's group is Richard Holiday. Now, obviously, look, when Sentai Death Squad member number 1 came in, he owned the room. Savio comes in. He owns the room. Kwan comes in. He owns the room. Now, I'm a little upset with Ikuro Kwan because before he made his debut in MLW, way before that, when this pandemic was going on, it's still going on, but when it got started, I had moved CR Fire Pro and all the talent into what I call Daiga Schuster Hotels, and his name is Quan Daiga Schuster, and people are gonna think that I'm ripping this dude's name off, and it's like, man, piss me off. So that's a thing, tick me off. So then after Richard Holiday come in, he's owning the room. Then 2 minutes later, Sentai Death Squad member number 2 come in. He's a robust guy. Can't really make out who he is. And I'm sure they're very indie-rific. So it's meaning not that they're bad in the ring, just there's some you won't recognize them, and if they did take the mask off, they might be someone that you know from some place that you watch and might get in some trouble. So that's one reason why people wear masks when they go to other promotions and whatnot, or a lot of face paint. And it's good for them to change up their moves a good bit too. Just saying. So then after that, he didn't own the room, but he helped get the fight back on Contra Unit's side. Then on Hammerstone, they call him the judge, EJ Nduka. Tall guy. It's my first time seeing him, and he looks okay. That's what I wrote. First time seeing, and he looks okay. I mean, he was doing stuff. He was owning the room. He was fast. He was trying to do a good fight. It looked pretty good. But I can tell that he either needs training or it's just, which is a problem, it was crowded in the ring. Can't do much when it's crowded. Then this guy that I've been wanting to see for a while, because I'm like, okay, are you Kane? Are you Undertaker? Are you Nails? Are you Sid Vicious? Are you Dan Spivey? Who are you going to wrestle like? So Mads Kruger, he got in, and I wasn't impressed after all the hype. I wrote not impressed after all the hype. And see, I mistyped and everything. I put no impressed is not impressed after all the hype. He didn't do anything. He paired up with EJ Nduka, and they had a big man slugfest, but it didn't look all that great. And they did not have much room in the ring either. So then the final person comes in, Alexander Hammerstone, world champion, or whatever champion they calling him. He's a one-man army ass whooping guy. That's what he's doing. Coming to the ring, Contra units trying to stop him, all this other stuff. So many masked people. So now the War Chamber can begin, and not much was really happening. It was mainly Fatu, Hammerstone, and then after that, like maybe a couple of other people get up and do something, and it was not a long match. It was not long. Fatu got 2 miscues hitting Kruger, and they said they already got beef together, because when he hit him the first time, Kruger was mad and backing him up in the corner. Fatu was like, hey man, look, we need to work on this. Let's work together. And they did, and then Fatu hit him again after Hammerstone pulled Kruger into in the way. So then Hammerstone gets a hold of Ikuto Kwan, and I'm like, y'all need to go help this little dude because he's tiny. Hammerstone applies a hellacious Argentine backbreaker, like Lex Luger's style, Argentine backbreaker that he called the torture rat. And he put that on, and it looked mean. It looked nasty. I likes. But can you do that to a dude not his size, but regular standard wrestler size, the standard big guy wrestler you would see? Somebody that's about 6'1" to 6'3", and somewhere in between 230 and 250. Can you do it to someone like that? Because I'd like to see that. I'm all curious. I got my curiosity is all peaked on that, and so he put him in that. Nobody was helping Kwan. Nobody. Ikuto Kwan was alone in a ring with 9 people, and 4 people that's on his team did not get up to help. and he tapped out. And it was very understandable. All right, match is over. And now, post-match. Kruger takes issue with Fatu, who is reeling from the loss. Fatu could tell on his face, he's like, man, damn. Fatu tells Kruger to back down, and then you can hear him say, I'm telling you, don't fucking do it. And he told him that twice. Quan tries to break it up, but Kruger strikes Fatu, who fights back. You know Fatu, he gonna do what he got to do. Can't be a punk in that ring, man. And so he's fighting Kruger, and then Quan attacks Fatu, which I see is a big mistake, and Fatu handles him fast with a pop-up Samoan drop. Kruger throws Fatu from the ring, and Fatu attacks the Sentai Death Squad outside the ring, and they're trying to calm him down. He's just whooping their ass. Fatu is tired, second wind, and Kruger attacks him with security trying to break it all up. Everybody, he just flooded everybody out there, all kinds of people. It becomes pandemonium. Quan takes a cheap shot at Fatu while Fatu is down, who gets up and attacks Kruger. So they fighting and they battle. And the last man they show really is Kruger. I'm not impressed by him, but this isn't the, how can I say this? While this is not the best match to showcase somebody's true talent, it is the best match for him to back up all the crap that he was talking leading up to it. He should have been vicious and violent and all that. Now he looks like a punk. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's pro wrestling. Get in the ring and do nothing. Just be mad at somebody else. That doesn't impress me. That's terrible. So I was like, let me make a list of what's wrong with this cage match. All right. Let me make a little list. Now, here's the thing. Originally, War Games is 2 rings, side by side, and it's a low cage, which to me is a big mistake. The cage is like 8 feet high, the original one, and you ain't got room to do anything. And then I think they got a 10-foot high one. You know, the cage in general, it needs to be, you know, I would say a 15 to 20 foot high cage with a top on it. All right. So it's a small ring. That's one of them. That's one of my complaints that I'm like, this is what's wrong with this match. It's a very small ring for all these people to be in it. It's too damn small. They should have just upgraded and paid the money for a 20 by 20 ring. You can get everybody in there and you could have had a much longer match. But here's the thing. I don't know how long this full event was before they got to the War Games because the crowd seemed tired. That's the other thing. If you're going to have a War Games, or as you want to call it here, War Chamber match, you want your match to be really good. It needs to be the big payoff. You know, this is what they call it, the blow-off match. This ends the rivalry. And then something must begin anew. So you need to have this match where everyone gets in that ring. And I think the 2 minutes thing is really good. It shortens it. It really does shorten it before it gets going. So basically, it's roughly, you know, about 15 minutes or so before everyone is in the ring. Cool. Then the War Chambers match can begin in a much larger ring with a ceiling on. And if there's no ceiling on it, the barbed wire at the top to make sure that they can't get out, that coiled razor sharp barbed wire, okay, that's a deterrent. So when people see it, it's like, no wonder no one's trying to get out. And then you can go ahead and do all the suplexing and throws and Irish whips and get your spots in and stuff and double team and beat the hell out of each other and whatnot and use that cage. Some used it, but they used it on the masked guys. No. The masked guys should have been using it on everybody else. the mask guy should have been really amping up that cage. They and the heels should have been throwing them faces into it, because you know what the other problem was? No blood at all in a cage. You have a cage match, somebody better bleed, damn it. I don't care if you got and it look bad, but you just lay there and scrape your head on the cage itself and be like, hey y'all, we got blood. Sorry. I mean, yeah, it would look bad. I would hate that, but damn it. You know, another thing was commercials. So this was on TV, I assume. And it's nice seeing Stephen P. New with his law practice, New and Taylor. That's cool. That's awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of commercials during this one match. So that was bad. And to me, it's like, look, you have a thing like the War Chamber. If you plan to do it up and do it good, you would have put this somewhere on some kind of paid subscription thing or something to get some extra money out of it, you know? You'd advertise it on YouTube and other stuff and say, hey, we're going to do it big this time. So, okay, so far, commercials, a small ring, no blood, and then it's a short ending to a long feud. This War Chamber thing has been talked about for a couple of months, if not longer. And they've been hyping it up. And it was a short match. It was short. You know, there are jobber matches that last longer than this. So it's a really short ending to a very long feud. The post-match fight was 100 times better than the match that's been fueled for months. You know, those are my complaints. And obviously not showing the coin toss, you know. But what did they do right? What did they do right? They explained the rules. And when you got a dim room, you got a cage, and you got the ring announcer in the middle, and he's telling you what the rules are, that's ominous. That's ominous, and it builds the tension. You know, it sets the scene. It sets the mood. It gets everybody going. You know, that's what that do. Now, what else did they do right? The heels had Fatu out there first. That was the right thing to do. And Jeff Cobb coming out there. Because if it won't Cobb and it was someone small, you need to put Hammerstone out there. And then now they got to back up their leaders who's trying to lead this match. That's what you can get across. Okay? Let me point out something else that was wrong. Commentary is real low. You cannot hear them very well. And look, I've gone through it. I've seen it. I've done it myself. Mistakes, and you can't really override it. So, thing is, I'm not a highly paid, production company that got teams of people back there that's supposed to be systems checking and making sure it's coming out well. See what I'm saying? The ending they did well. That's a good ending. It just came too soon. That's that Argentine backbreaker submission. The way it looked, if he didn't tap out, I would have called bullshit. So they did that right. So that's gonna do it for this. I just thought I'd go over that real quick. So this been Cedric for CR Wrestling Commentary, Major League Wrestling War Chamber 2021. Y'all keep it real, keep it safe, keep it cool out there. Give a nice review, thumbs up, a heart, something. And see you next time.